Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at gratitude, specifically when life feels anything but grateful. We're going to be exploring an article from Psychology today. It's called Gratitude, Finding Sweetness in the Bitterness by Alex Snyder. Sometimes you just need like a new perspective to get tough times, you know?
Yeah, that's a really great point. And it's interesting because you often hear about gratitude when things are going well, but this article kind of dives right into the heart of challenges.
Yeah, it throws that whole good vibes only thing right out the window.
Hmm.
The author talks about going through a breakup and losing a close family member and even facing job uncertainty. Makes you wonder how you find gratitude in those moments.
Well, and what's so fascinating is that the author found gratitude for the sadness itself. They saw it as a reflection of how deeply they cared for the people and the world around them.
That's such a unique perspective. So it's not about ignoring the negative feelings, but seeing them as part of something bigger?
Exactly. And, there's actually science behind this idea, too. Studies using brain imaging have shown that even just imagining acts of kindness can light up the same reward centers in the brain as actually performing them.
Wow, so it's not just a feel-good concept. There's a real neurological basis for the benefits of gratitude.
Absolutely. And it's not just about feeling good either. It's about rewiring your brain to focus on the positive, even amidst difficulty. This is actually a key principle in cognitive behavioral therapy, which is a type of therapy that helps people identify and change unhelpful thought patterns.
So you're saying that even when things are tough, practicing gratitude can actually change the way we think and feel.
That's right. And this becomes especially relevant, I think, in emotionally charged times, like after a recent election,
Yeah.
where there's this mix of hope and fear and uncertainty in the air.
Oh, for sure.
The article quotes the poet Derek Walcott, who says, "Fall in love with the world in spite of history."
I love that quote. It's like saying, yes, the world is complex, but there's still beauty to be found. And we can choose to focus on that.
Exactly. It's a reminder that gratitude isn't about ignoring the hard stuff. It's about choosing to see the good alongside the bad. It's about appreciating, I think, the full spectrum of human experience.
For sure. So how do we actually put this into practice?
Yeah.
Like how do we actually start cultivating gratitude, especially when it feels hard?
Well, the author talks about this really simple ritual. He was emailing a friend one thing he was grateful for almost every night for over 3 years.
Wow.
And I think that consistency is key. It's about making gratitude a habit even when you don't feel like it.
It's like building any muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be some big, complicated thing, right?
No, not at all.
The article mentions a mindful strawberry eating exercise. It's about slowing down and really experiencing the taste, the texture, just the simple act of enjoying a strawberry.
That's a great example. And that's an example of mindfulness, which is all about bringing your full attention to the present moment. And you can practice mindfulness with anything, not just strawberries. It could be your morning coffee, a walk in nature, or even just taking a few deep breaths. It's about finding those little moments of gratitude throughout your day.
I love that. Speaking of putting gratitude into practice, the article offers some tips, especially for Thanksgiving, a time when families come together and, well, sometimes things can get a little complicated.
Yeah, definitely. The first tip is to reconnect with curiosity, especially when it comes to family.
Okay, so I have to admit, I sometimes struggle with gratitude when dealing with my, shall we say, opinionated uncle.
Mm.
How can I apply this reconnect with curiosity tip in that situation?
Well, it's about approaching your family members, even the challenging ones, with a fresh perspective. So instead of focusing on what annoys you, you try to see them with new eyes. Remember, they're complex individuals with their own stories and experiences. So what positive qualities can you find in them? What are their strengths?
That's a good point. It's about shifting our focus from what's wrong to what's right.
Right. And sometimes just understanding someone's perspective can help you appreciate them more. Even if you don't agree with everything they say or do, it's about finding common ground even amidst differences.
Okay, I can see how that could help. What other tips does the article suggest?
Well, the second tip is all about savoring imperfect meals.
So no stressing over the burnt turkey or lumpy gravy. I like where this is going.
Exactly. It's more about appreciating the intention and love behind the meal than striving for culinary perfection. And this doesn't just apply to Thanksgiving either. It's about finding gratitude in the everyday, even if things aren't picture perfect.
Sometimes I get so caught up in making everything just right that I forget to actually enjoy the moment.
Right. And that's where mindfulness comes in again. When you slow down and savor each bite, you're not just eating, you're experiencing. You're noticing the flavors, the textures, the aromas. It's about being fully present in the experience.
Hmm. I think I could use a little more of that in my life.
Hmm.
What's the last tip?
So the final tip is to honor loss and hope, especially during the holidays. It's okay to feel sadness for those who are missing, while also embracing hope for the future.
That resonates with me. Holidays can bring up so many emotions, and it's important to acknowledge all of them, not just the happy ones.
Exactly. Gratitude doesn't mean denying the difficult emotions. It's about holding space for the full spectrum of human experience. The joy and the sorrow, the light and the shadow.
Yeah, it's like that saying, life is a tapestry of both light and dark threads. It's the combination of both that creates the booty.
I love that analogy. And gratitude helps us to appreciate all the threads, even the ones that might feel rough or uneven. But the article also emphasizes that gratitude isn't just for special occasions like Thanksgiving. It's a way of life.
So how do we make it a part of our daily routine? I'm all about those practical tips.
Well, one suggestion is to find a gratitude partner and text each other one thing you're grateful for each day. It's like an accountability buddy for positivity.
I love that. It's a great way to stay connected and keep each other motivated. And it doesn't have to be big things either, right?
Absolutely not. It could be as simple as a sunny day, a good cup of coffee, a funny text from a friend. The key is to find those little glimmers of joy and appreciate them.
The article also mentions journaling. I've tried that before, but I always seem to fizzle out after a few days. Any tips for making it stick?
Yeah, don't pressure yourself to write a novel. Even just a few sentences each day can make a difference. Focus on quality over quantity and make it enjoyable. Use a beautiful notebook. Find a quiet spot where you feel inspired and really allow yourself to savor the process of reflecting on your day and finding those moments of gratitude. You might even try incorporating some creative writing exercises or prompts to keep things fresh and interesting.
Those are great ideas. It's about making it a ritual, something you look forward to, not another chore on your to-do list.
Exactly. And sometimes the simplest act can be the most powerful. Even just saying thank you before you go to bed, acknowledging the good things in your life, no matter how small, can shift your perspective and set you up for a more restful sleep.
You know what really struck me about this whole concept is that gratitude is a form of preparation. By actively cultivating gratitude, we're building resilience for when those inevitable challenges come our way.
Yeah, it's like building up a reserve of strength and positivity that you can draw on when things get tough.
So instead of being completely thrown off balance by life's curveballs, we have this inner strength to help us navigate the ups and downs.
That's a great way to put it. It's about finding that inner anchor that keeps you grounded even amidst the storms.
And the beauty of it is that gratitude doesn't require any special skills or resources. It's accessible to everyone, regardless of your circumstances.
That's so true. It's a practice, not a talent. Anyone can cultivate gratitude, and the benefits are truly transformative. It's not about denying the hard stuff. It's about finding a way to hold it all with a little more grace and appreciation.
You know what I find so fascinating about gratitude? Is that it's not just about feeling good, it's about a fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on what's missing or what's wrong, gratitude encourages us to zoom in on what we do have, even amidst adversity.
It's about training our brains to see the good, to find those silver linings even when we're surrounded by clouds. And that can be incredibly empowering.
It's like we're actively choosing to focus on the light, even in the darkness.
And that choice, that act of focusing on the positive, can have a ripple effect not just in our own lives, but in the world around us.
I love it. It's like you're saying gratitude is contagious.
It absolutely can be. When you approach life with gratitude, you radiate a different energy. You become a source of positivity and hope. And that can inspire others to do the same.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this article on gratitude, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with?
I hope they remember that gratitude isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not something we save for special occasions. It's something we practice every day, especially when things are tough. And it's through this consistent practice that we cultivate a deeper appreciation for life, even with all its imperfections.
It's like we're training our minds to see the world through a different lens, one that highlights the beauty and the good, even amidst the challenges.
Exactly.
And in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, that's a pretty powerful gift to give ourselves.
It really is. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of difficulty, there's always something to be grateful for. It might be a warm cup of tea on a rainy day, a supportive friend, or simply the ability to breathe.
You know, it's funny because we often think of gratitude as something we feel when things are good. Maybe it's actually the other way around. Maybe it's the gratitude that makes things good.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. Gratitude shifts our focus. It helps us to appreciate what we have instead of dwelling on what we lack. And that shift in perspective can make a world of difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the power of gratitude, what's one simple action our listeners can take to start cultivating more gratitude in their own lives?
Hmm. I'd encourage you to think about one small act of gratitude you can incorporate into your daily routine starting today. It could be keeping a gratitude journal, texting a friend something you appreciate, or simply taking a moment each day to notice the good things in your life.
I love that. It's about finding those little pockets of gratitude throughout the day and making them a conscious part of our experience.
Exactly. And remember, gratitude isn't about denying the hard stuff. It's about finding those glimmers of light, those moments of grace, even in the midst of darkness.
And in doing so, we not only transform our own experience,
Yeah.
but we also contribute to a more positive and resilient world.
It's like a ripple effect. One small act of gratitude can inspire another and another, creating a wave of positivity that spreads outward.
So go out there and find your sweetness in the bitterness. Deep divers. Until next time, stay curious, stay grateful, and keep diving deep.
Yeah, it's funny. We always talk about being grateful when times are good. But what if it's the gratitude that brings the good times?
I think there's something to that. Gratitude changes how we see things. Instead of focusing on what we don't have, we appreciate what we do,
Yeah.
and that can make all the difference.
So much truth in that. As we wrap up our deep dive on gratitude, what's one thing our listeners can do, to cultivate more of that in their own lives?
That's a great question. I would say find one small act of gratitude and make it part of your day-to-day. It could be keeping a gratitude journal or texting a friend something you appreciate, even just taking a minute to see all the good in your life.
Love that. Those little moments throughout the day, really making an effort to notice them.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, gratitude isn't about pretending things aren't hard. It's about finding the bright spots even when it's dark.
And doing that, we don't just change our own experience, we make the world a little bit better too. Like a ripple effect. One person's gratitude can inspire others. That positivity can spread so far.
So go out there and find your sweetness in the bitterness. Deep divers. Until next time, stay curious, stay grateful, and keep diving deep.